This is Desiree Dubonnet, and when I moved to Hungary, I became fascinated with the idea of vampire. I found that there were vampires in today's world. There really was a thing known as the blood fever. That this was a type of virus that could affect people and create this desire for blood and the other things. And the ideas of the vampire and his life were there, and I wanted to help protect people, just like Van Helsing.
To remain and protect those whom you would destroy.
I found that vampires are real. Dracula is real. Transylvania is real. I lived there. And I've made the movie Dracula, the true Transylvanian story, the true story of Dracula, to be able to tell the story how he used fear hypnosis, and he had a blood fever virus. And there really was a man, because Dracula is the Romanian word for devil, and Dracula was then the son of the amazing devil. So I wanted to be able to tell this story. I made the movie Dracula, and you should watch the movie Dracula. It's very entertaining, and you can get it through this website, etc. And then I wanted to be able to tell the incomplete story. So now today, I want you to come, and I want you to watch the history of the vampire that I made as the beginning of the movie Dracula. I hope that this will entertain you.
Let me tell the story, for I am Dracula. You know my son, Dracula. The blood fever story goes back to the beginning of time, as that some people say that Adam's first wife, Lilith, was the first vampire, jealous that she could not have children. Steal them in the night. In India, the blood fever affects several people. It produces an extreme photophobia. The afflicted fear the day, and they prowl at night. Fire is blood in the Indian dialect. Vamp is night. Vampire comes from the Indian blood night. The gypsies spread the disease into early Romania, Deutsche as it is called, where it flourishes. The people of the time living on the land, living on the plants. There's an ergot type of fungus that grows and produces hallucinogenic effects, adding to the effects of the blood fever. Belladonna, used by the rich women, which is Latin for beautiful women. Many other strong plants are used by the people of Romania. This accelerates their bloodlust effects. The Roman Empire now is a powerful empire. The Roman soldiers are so well trained. Roman soldiers are skilled in warfare, skilled at conquering. Roman soldiers are the most proficient and effectively trained team of soldiers in the world. Roman soldiers are skilled at succeeding in the field. The Roman Empire is attacked by many of the barbarian clan from the north. They have outposts at the ends of the Roman Empire. Most troublesome are the Deutschens, in what is now called Romania. After 50 years of fighting and bargaining with the Deutschens, finally Trajan, the Caesar of Rome at the time, decides to mount the ultimate attack on the Deutschens. In 101 AD, Trajan takes over 60,000 soldiers, 1/3 of the total Roman Empire army, and advances on Deutsche. In 102, the Roman Empire encounters the Deutschens. The Deutschens are outnumbered 6-1. The Deutschens are led by the powerful leader, Decibel. In 105, the Romans totally conquer the Deutschens. Decibel and his captains commit suicide. The Deutschens are captured or evacuated, and the Deutschen land is given to the Roman soldiers as payment for their service in the Roman army. The Deutschen land is now occupied by the Roman soldiers. The Roman soldiers will marry the most beautiful of the Deutschen women, because the Roman soldiers did not have women. They bring their language, they bring their culture, and they settle into the land of Deutsche. This is the dawn of what we now call Romania. because it has gotten his name from the Roman soldiers who've taken over. Trajan will build a column in Rome to remember his victory over the Deutschans. The Roman soldiers, tired from battle, now are settling into the land of Deutsche. Their language, their culture, their wine, their food, all being given to the Deutschans. Romania has now started. Trajan and what's left of the Roman army will take 20,000 of the captured Deutschans back to Rome. Only 10,000 will survive this trip. These 10,000 are pitted against each other in the establishment of the gladiator games. Only 1,000 will survive. And these become the first large contingent of gladiators. 9,000 dead bodies are dropped into the river Tiber of Rome. This horrific event will harden the Romans' hearts, acclimate them to the sight of death and blood in the arena. The blood fever brought to Rome from Deutsche will penetrate the society up to the top, and the blood fever will start the decline of the Roman Empire. The gladiator became the spectacle of society and decadence. Sports figures can become incredibly powerful people in a society. The power of the gladiator, the power of the soldier were exalted. There was turmoil after the death of Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was the incredible emperor of Rome, and his wisdom, elegance, and power made the empire reach to its utmost. The exemplification of the gladiator and the blood fever penetrated. It leads to the demise of Rome. And under Caligula, treachery in Rome will reach its peak. The Roman Empire is now starting to decline. Constantine will build Constantinople, and power will be shared between an east and western capital. And Rome itself will start a gradual decline, whereas Constantinople will start an economic boom that will last for centuries. Rome is challenged by the incredible warrior named Attila. This incredible warrior has united the fierce tribes of the Huns. Attila will ravage Europe, and Attila will ravage northern Italy. He strikes at the heart of Rome, threatens to destroy Rome. Pope Leo was the first pope to gain public attention when he stopped Attila. Attila and his men were sick from malaria. They were burdened by excess amounts of gold and loot that they had taken from northern Italy. They were anxious to go home, and when Pope Leo negotiates, he becomes revered by the people of Rome, and this starts the development of the Vatican, as the people start to give money to the Vatican to defend their country. The Vatican will become the richest country in the world. The rich people will escape to Venice, Venia Iccia, the way of escape. The poor people and the soldiers will remember their ancestors and return to Romania, making Romania stronger. As we now come to a castle in Romania, a castle where I, Dracu, and my brother Radu live, ruling the country of Transylvania and helping the people to develop. The best of the Romans, the best of the Deutschans, combined to make a powerful, powerful society, now known as Romania. Dracu and Radu, powerful warriors, both in love with the Queen Roxana. And I, Dracu, am the king. Roxana, my queen. The king of Hungary, Sigismund, has asked me to come to Budapest, to join his Society of the Dragon, to defend Christianity. Having come there,
What am I doing here?
on one night I encountered the boyars.
My king.
As the king enters, for the king knows what is about to happen, that the boyars are going to threaten Dracu. The king is well aware of the plans made for Vlad. One by one, the boyars enter the room until 16 of them have come to attack Vlad. The boyars represent the rich merchant class, and Vlad and his son will always fight against the rich merchants to try to stop them from stealing money from the poor people, twisting money out of the poor people, and hurting society itself.
Hey, Romanian dog! What are you doing here?
$16 of you to 1. It's not a fair fight. I'll give you an hour. Go get another 10 men, so we make it a fair fight.
The fight ensues, and all the boyars are beaten and defeated.
There!
The king recognizes Dracu as a superior warrior, and my name is now changed from Vlad II to Dracu, the Romanian word for devil. A name given by the king, such is the warrior's skills. Avad Dracu.
My king.
Vlad, you are incredible. Your name is now Dracu.
After Sigismund's death, Vladislav III will be elected the King of Hungary. He'll be appointed by the Pope to be the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire and attack the Turks at Varna. They fear the Turks, and they fight at the Battle of Varna. Here at the Battle of Varna, Dracu fights along the side of the King of Hungary. And on Dracu's initial charge, thousands of the Turks flee. The fight ensues during the day. Dracu and his men attack with such ferocity. One of the people at the site will write later that the heads of the Turks' army will roll on the field like pebbles. The King of Hungary, the Emperor of Rome, will sit back and watch the fight of the day, and watch Dracu and his forces conquer and beat back the Turkish army. The Turks now will have to flee. Mohammed II and his forces are beaten by Dracu. They will flee back. Vladislav, the Emperor of Rome, will foolishly charge forward as the Ottomans and the Turks will flee back into the mountains, setting a trap. Dracu tries to warn Vladislav, the King of Hungary, the Emperor of Rome, but he is killed in the battle. And the Turks succeed. History is changed. Constantinople will fall. Constantinople believes that they cannot be conquered as long as there is a moon in the sky. During the lunar eclipse, the Turks will challenge Constantinople.
Constantinople, no more! Istanbul!
The Roman Empire is totally destroyed. It will never exist in any fashion again. Radu and Dracu will return to Transylvania, where a new baby has been born by Roxanne. Dracu has returned to his castle. to his children. And now the countries of Transylvania, Moldavia, Wallachia are united under Dracul. But there is trouble inside as the blood fever has worked its way into the heart of Romania. There is politics. Politics and blood fever are often the same. Hunyadi, a Hungarian warrior, will become friends to Dracul's face, will plot his demise.
He tells me that my son Vlad is not mine, that the father is my brother Radu, that Radu is sleeping with my wife, the queen. I am outraged. I ask for the death of Radu and the boy. I demand it. The queen finds out of my plan.
Radu?
Yes, my queen.
Are you sure? I'll keep my eyes open. Believe me, I will protect him.
I must take the prince, Joseph.
You can't do that, Father. The king's so low.
No, I must.
Stop it. Radu, they're all one blood. Take your son and go in peace.
Okay. Let the boy go.
Hey, Karim, I'm not afraid of death.
I won't kill you. Cut off your hands, cut off your feet, I'll cut off your tongue, and I'll throw you in the street. Is that what you want? Let the boy go.
Radu and his son escaped my wrath. 1,000 years before, there was Urbis, the priest of Borodista, the first of the Romanian vampire.
Radu encounters Urbis, and Urbis is the leader of the blood fever cult. One day in a cave, while escaping, Radu and his son Vlad will meet Urbis. And Urbis will tell Radu of the blood fever, but then threaten Radu. But Radu's sword should not be challenged. It is a long trip to escape. Radu and Vlad travel through the steppes, Mongolia, searching, teaching, learning, to China, learning as time goes by, till finally they come to Japan, where Radu learns more about this blade. But back in Transylvania, Dracul and Roxana struggle.
It's been over 10 years since my brother's been gone. For 10 years, even this wench gives me more satisfaction than you.
But back in Transylvania, things are not right.
Romania, Transylvania. And what do we have? Storms, rumors, innuendos, pain. And this because of you. Bitch. After the party, we will talk.
In Japan, Radu teaches the sword, learns of the sword, discovers some of the ways of the samurai. His son Vlad has grown older, stronger, wiser. He has become Vlad the priest, as he has become knowledgeable in the ways of spiritual wisdom.
Rado-san.
Ichizo.
I'm having a problem with my sword.
Oh, it takes a lot of practice. It takes years and years to learn to control the sword, right?
Yep.
Let me show you a little training exercise that we do. Here, watch this.
Thanks. I'll practice every day. One day, I'll be better than you.
Maybe I'll meet you again someday. Thank you. Here in Japan, Radu also learns about medicinal arts, the healing power of herbs, and that sometimes an herb used in small, dilute amounts can have reverse effects. Radu fathers some of the basic ideas of homeopathy and like treating like. Hahnemann will later discover these writings of Radu in Romania, as Hahnemann will flourish and fill out much more of the practice of homeopathy. Radu has learned about the diseases and the blood fever. He's learned about rabies and hydrophobia, called hydrophobia because it makes one thirsty but yet afraid of water. Viruses that have powerful mental and physical effects. They build up and develop in the nervous system until the victim becomes mad and insane. Ah, my friends, the plants. I've come to the East to learn about you. And they've taught me so much. The plants that cause craziness, in small amounts can relieve craziness. And the plants that cause the blood fever, in small amounts can relieve the blood fever. I've learned so much here. The blood fever can be defeated, can be controlled. But back in Transylvania, the treacherous plot of Hunyadi deepens as he plots the death of Dracula. After the death of the Hungarian king, my friend, Transylvania has become more and more isolated. My sons, Vlad and Mircea, have learned their arts well, learned their science, as I've had them go to many schools. The queen, her heart is hardened against me, as I sense her love for Radu. And I, Dracula, have become old and bitter. The warrior heart still lives, but I've lost my edge.
My sons! My worthless fucking sons! Dinner time! Enjoy it! My worthless fucking sons.
Are you, Papa?
The queen bitch! My worthless fucking guys. Wine! I want wine! Now! I want wine! She gives me more pleasure than you. For 10 years my brother's been gone. 10 years.
Guards, check out the horses. You don't have to see this.
What? You embarrassed by me? Hey, here's some more food, my son. What is this?
I feel shame to see you in the way like this.
Who cares? Who cares? Someday soon you will be king.
I try to be better than you.
Better than me, I'm Dracula. I'm the devil. I defeat everyone. And what do I have for sons? What do I have? What do I have for a queen? Someday you will be king. Hopefully not him. This blood asshole. Eat some more, my son. Eat some more.
Give me the first.
Eat some more.
Daddy. You think you can be king like me?
I will try, I promise.
You think you can be king like me? I tried it. What's gonna happen to this country?
A new wedge. Come here. Come here. Hey, come here. A new one.
Atella, by Ayende's treachery, has paid him well, as he uses his small sword, hidden in the handle of his sword, to kill. Young Vlad, my son, will escape. He learns the Turkish language. He learns how to counterfeit money. He goes to Venice and opens one of the first bank accounts. He travels Europe and learns of the ways of the world, of cannon, guns, the printing press. Years later, he will return to Transylvania, and Vlad will become king. He is Vlad Tepes, the Impaler. You will know him as Dracula.
I am Radu. I have returned.
After the death of I, Dracula, my brother Radu can return.
So here was our little history in the timeline. And basically I went into the actual castles, as shot the movie, and the actual Dracula castles of Romania. This was a true story. And I wanted to be able to capture these events and to help people to understand about the nature of what was happening in this world. That there really is still a blood fever virus, and it is dangerous, and it does affect people. So if you'll watch the movie, you'll see about the true story of the vampires and Dracula, and the ideas that it's not just in Transylvania anymore. This is spread throughout the world. This has spread to the world's people, and it represents a danger that we need to be able to be aware of. So I hope that I've been able to entertain you. I hope that I've been able to educate you. Maybe I scare you. Maybe you'll be influenced. Maybe you'll be able to take care of your family and friends. Maybe you won't. But I just want you to understand that there is evil in the world. There is a blood fever virus. Open your eyes and recognize that in this world you have to prepare and take care of yourself. It's very important that we learn to be able to resist the powers of evil. And we can do that best through education. I hope you learned something today in our history of the vampire.